to the Unicorn Coach Talk Show. Every coach, unicorn coach is the mission of this. And today, for this episode, we have somebody who is a very big pioneer of the self-improvement industry in the Indian coaching field. We have somebody who has created amazing concepts like time hacking and scientific manifestation. It's a privilege to have you here, Ankit. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Gopal. I'm excited to be here, and I've always admired the work that you do for the coaches community in India and beyond.
All right. So I think you finished your college in a very reputed college, and you got placements in some of the biggest companies like Infosys. Rejected all of them, and you got into something else. What happened there? What made you to boldly take a decision like that and switch to something new, Ankit?
Right. So yes, I did get some dream placements, as others would call it, but I never really wanted to do a job. I always understood that you have to work for yourself, and the flow of money into your life will be proportional to the value that you provide. And I always felt through a business I could provide infinite value. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me, but I still did take those placements like the campus opportunities just to prove to myself that I could. Yes, and to my parents that I was good enough to get those placements.
So you got placed in Infosys?
Yes, I got.
How much was your pay package, Ankit?
I don't remember exactly, somewhere around 4 lakhs a year, something like that.
Okay. So what made you to give up on that particular security and take this, and how risky was it, and what did your people in your community say to you?
Yeah, so it was a risky decision. But having said that, it appeared risky to my parents and families, not so much to me. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. In the third year of college itself, I had started businesses, right? So there was a Kindle book publishing thing that I used to do. I used to get ghostwriters to write Kindle books and publish on Amazon. Mm-hmm. So I was actually making more money already in the fourth year of my college than the packages that I got offered.
Wow.
So it was a no-brainer for me. Mm-hmm. While on the outside, yes, my father was actually pretty sad that I didn't go to those colleges, and I was taking a huge risk in starting businesses.
Yeah. Wow, amazing. Eh? That is how Ankit got his start, right? He didn't go to any of the companies he placed, and he went to the entrepreneurship path instead. All right. Okay, so you got into this risky path of entrepreneurship. What happened next?
So, we started small, and I remember the first month, I think it was 2015, we got around 1 lakh in sales. But within a couple of years, by 2017, we had crossed 1 crore per month in sales, and eventually over 30 crores in total. Yeah.
So what were you selling, and how did you learn something new like e-commerce, going straight from a college and starting an e-commerce company? How difficult was it?
So it was difficult in the sense that it was a brand new field. What was easy was the online side of things, because I did engineering in IT. So I loved the fact that I could sell stuff online. I didn't have to open a shop, and that is what attracted me to it. But I think the difficult part was learning business, right? The best thing I did for myself was actually get myself educated. I did courses and trainings for entrepreneurs. I understood how cash flow works. Yes, I understood how you use money in a business, how you must keep yourself educated with the best people in the world for your performance, because your team looks at you to show them how well you're going to perform, and they will follow your lead. Right? So I learned leadership. I learned managing a business, managing people, managing cash flow. Yeah, so it was a wonderful learning experience for me.
Wow. So from there, you took this to 30 crores in revenue. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
So what were some of the 3 key learnings that you had in your 30 crore journey? From 0 to 30 crores in how many years?
I think 3 years.
3 years. What were the 3 big learnings? Because it is not easy to scale something from 0 to 3 crores so fast. What were the 3 key learnings from that particular journey of yours?
Yeah, so I think the number one thing that I learned was to keep educating yourself, and that I have followed diligently till date. And I feel like till the day I die, I'll keep educating myself, investing in trainings, coaching programs and stuff like that. Because even then, I had learned from people who were teaching e-commerce in the US, right? It was brand new in India. And that is what helped me gain an advantage over everybody else. That's the difference between, I feel like, an entrepreneur versus a small business owner, because a small business owner will follow what the previous generation did. Mm-hmm. An entrepreneur will innovate what the next generation is going to do, right? The second thing that I learned was don't sell what you want to sell, right? And we made that mistake a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Sell what people want to buy. Wow. Right? So looking at the market, what's selling, what are the gaps we can fill is something that I learned most importantly. And the third thing I learned as a personal principle is I decided to wake up early, right? And that completely changed my performance. So I decided to wake up early. Every single day I would be up at 5 a.m. I would take care of myself. So then for the rest of the day, I was ready to take on the world.
Wow. this is what he did, right? He educated himself with the best educators out there. He sold people what they want, and he was able to understand that waking up early gives him that advantage over others who don't. This is how he built a 30 crore company in a short period of time. That's amazing, Ankit. So Ankit, okay, you created this 30 crore company, and then in 2019, everything changed. There are a lot of personal losses like your father's death and a lot of things that is happening in your business. Can you tell us about that turning point which completely changed the trajectory of your life?
Yes. My father was a government doctor in Bihar, and he had worked in some of the poorest districts in the country. And I remember the previous night I'd spoken to him on the phone, and he was completely fine. Imagine waking up and receiving a call from your mom that he's not breathing, right? And then a few minutes later that he's passed away. It was a shock to the system. But I think one thing that I did that I'm really proud of till date is, it takes some time for such news to sink in. So in the next couple of hours, obviously I was in shock, but I put my principles first, right? I booked a ticket home immediately, the first one that I could find. In the hours in between, I gave time to paying my employees because that was pending already. I didn't want them to wait for the next 7 days because I knew the moment it sinks in, I wouldn't be able to work. I would paralyze, right? So I remember the philosophy that I learned from my father: living is giving. So he serviced the poorest people in the country, whereas as a doctor, he had actually got multiple offers to make so much more around the world, right? So I decided they should not suffer because of this. I made those payments, the salaries and all of that. And then I went to the airport. So yeah, that was a shock to the system. But going back there completely shifted my perspective on life, because at that point of time, I was definitely making good money. It wasn't about money. But I remember seeing this picture of my father's body kept in the government hospital. And there were people lined up just to, pay respects to him, to give flowers. The district magistrate were there, all the government offices were closed. And I thought to myself, I want something like this. My life cannot be just about making money. It must be about helping others. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how to help others in that way. But then, it eventually led me to explore my deeper passion of self-improvement, get trained with the best coaches in the world, and to help other people in that way.
Oh, that was the turning point. Right? When you were saying all these things, right? I was understanding how authentically your father was serving all the people, and that's why he was paid respect by so many big people in the city, and he got that respect. And I'm able to see that authenticity in you, in whatever you do, right? That authenticity just shows up, right? You really want to serve people like your father. So proud of your achievements, Ankit.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
All right. Okay, so during COVID, something massive happened. You have to shut down your 30 crore business. It is like you have grown this child to this 30 crores, and suddenly you have to stop living with this child. So how heartbreaking was it, and how did you move from something as bad as that?
Yeah, so I think some people don't know this story, but what most people don't know is I didn't just lose my father. In the next couple of months, I lost my grandmother. In the next few months, I lost my grandfather as well. And then COVID came and I lost my business. Right? So it was the bottom of my life. And when I say I lost my business, we were not selling essential items. We were selling like fashion products, t-shirts and watches. So complete shutdown, right? You can't ship those anymore for 2, 3, 4 months. And I was paying people, or my whole team salaries out of my own pocket. So zero money coming in. But I decided to turn that around and look at it as an opportunity. Because since my father's passing, I was thinking of how I can help people. And I had actually got trained with some of the best people like Tony Robbins and, Chloe Medanis, Robin Sharma, all of these people. So I took it as a challenge upon myself and as an opportunity that the universe was showing me that here is the opportunity in your lap. Take advantage of this. And the whole world is moving online. Start teaching online. Yes. And in that journey of learning, again, I keep investing in myself in learning how to teach online. I found your courses, Gopal, and I was fortunate enough to be, I believe, in one of the earliest batches. And I remember getting on a call with you and you announcing the launch of a newer program that you have. And I instantly said, yes, I'm in. Yes. And that's how I got started. And I set a goal for myself on my phone that 5 lakhs per month. I think it was 31st July 2020, right? Around 6 months. That is what I would make. And 1 month before that, in June itself, I made over 10 lakhs.
Wow.
Right? And in no small way, your contribution was huge. Right?
Amazing. This is what happens, right? There is nothing called failure or mistakes. There is just a divine order. All those failures and heartbreaks has made Ankit into who he is, and those failures is what gave him this breakthrough that I need to be a coach. Otherwise, he would have been a very big e-commerce entrepreneur, but this world would have lost a very big coach. Amazing, Ankit. Now you switch to WhatsApp, right? I think you were one of the first persons to use WhatsApp to help people to wake up at 5 a.m. I think that was something that people have never heard about in the ad space or the coaching space. How did you come up with this unique idea? I think after that, everybody came up with these morning programs. But the first person to pioneer was you, right? How did this idea came up and what did you do in WhatsApp?
So, like I was saying, in no small way have you influenced my journey. So, the whole idea of doing WhatsApp class came from you, Gopal, and I'm forever indebted to you for that. Now, yes, I did do a couple of innovative things because I had seen how much waking up at 5 a.m. had helped me, and I understood the principles of Robin Sharma, for Hal and Rod, all these amazing people who talk about waking up early. I decided to teach that, and obviously innovated in several different ways. I was one of the first people to have like a 99 rupee 5-day class, and in those days that itself was profitable, right?
Wow.
So starting like that, and because I didn't have time, I decided to do first 4 days just videos. Only day 5 was live. So the key I felt is adapting. If I don't have time, do this. If I don't have money, do this. So I adapted to every single thing, and came out winning.
Amazing. So this WhatsApp class paid Ankit 3 crores in 18 months.
Yeah.
So what do you think was the single most important reason for this kind of a scale in such a short period of time? Not many coaches can dream of something like that.
Yeah, I think two big things. One is teaching what I authentically believe in and practice, because every time somebody watched my trainings, they could see that, okay, I was waking up, and I would actually open up the group at 5 a.m. So that authenticity people connected with. And I think one of the hidden factors that people don't realize was your guidance, right? And the reason I say that, because of very specific points that took me to the next level. One of those points was using a specific ad that you had. Yes, this ad template that said, why online gurus hate me, right? The exact sentence. So basically, I just modeled that, used that exact same thing. That was one of my most successful ads. I think it attracted more than 10,000 people in my trainings.
Wow. Authenticity drives perfection, guys. Okay, he was authentic as a coach. He waked up 5 a.m. and he was authentic with his mentorship, where he just took one template and he did it, and he was able to succeed. Amazing. Okay, Ankit, you are now so well known in India for this concept called scientific manifestation. You are the first person to come up with this concept. Can you tell us what it is and why it is such a misunderstood concept in the market?
Yeah, so a couple of things, right? Scientific manifestation was the birth of my own exploration, because I love the concept of law of attraction, but I'm an engineer by training, right? So I want to look into the science. Is it even possible? Does science go against it or for it? And in going through that exploration process, I found that a lot of concepts in science are very well aligned to exactly what it says, right? And the problem is, people who don't believe in things like law of attraction manifestation think they don't understand how manifestation is, right? They don't understand how manifestation works. They think, I can ask the universe for 1 crore, go to sleep, and next day I'll wake up and it'll be there, right? And when that doesn't happen, they're like, law of attraction is a scam, right? It's the same thing like somebody going into the stock market with the concept of getting rich quick, and then they lose all the money, and then they'll say stock market is a scam, right? They don't realize they didn't educate themselves on the stock market. They didn't train themselves to use the law of attraction and manifestation, right? And they are the biggest blockers. So they say law of attraction is not working. It's a law. It's always working. You are attracting at this very moment everything into your life. What happens is, just like gravity is working, no? But if I take a rope and I tie it around my waist and I hang from the ceiling and I'm floating in my room and I'm saying, see, gravity is not working for me. Gravity is working.
Wow, that's amazing, sir.
Yeah, I'm putting a barrier in the path of gravity from making me fall. Just like that, you are attracting. Law of attraction is working, but your limiting beliefs are the barriers that are stopping you from attracting what you want. And you attract random things, some good things, some bad things, some average things.
Wow, that's the best explanation of manifestation I have ever heard. That is amazing. I heard from one of your classes that there is something called conscious disbalance. When I hear this word itself, it makes me puzzled. What is it, and why did you coin that new word?
Yeah, so I think the reason I came up with that was people used to ask me about work-life balance, right? Ankit, how do I achieve work-life balance? See, the term work-life balance itself is a little flawed. Firstly, when you say work-life, it's like work is not a part of your life, right? Which is not the right way to look at it. And secondly, when you say balance, perfect balance is very difficult to achieve in the universe, right? For example, if you go to the vegetable market also, if you ask the vegetable seller to give you 5 kgs of potatoes, he'll put 5 kgs of potatoes on one side and the 5 kg weight on the other side, and it will never be exact, right? One side will be higher, one side will be lower. The universe does not seek balance. This is a misunderstanding that people have, that everything should be balanced. The whole universe exists because of disbalance. The earth rotates around the sun because there's a huge disbalance between the mass of the sun and the mass of the earth. The water flows in the rivers because there's a huge disbalance between the gravitational energy, the potential energy of the water there. Here. The wind blows high pressure, low pressure. So it's disbalance that drives the universe. Just like that. It's not a bad thing. There are 3 spheres of life. One is yourself, one is your relationships, and one is your money or wealth, right? Now, in your life, instead of choosing to run after balancing all 3, right? Which will never happen. When you're paying attention to your wife or your husband in a relationship, your boss gets angry, you're not giving time, and when you're giving time at work, your wife is angry, and all the while you are getting burnt out because you're not paying attention.
Exactly, that is what's happening for most people.
Yeah, because people think work-life balance. It's not balance. Here is what you do. Let's say you want to focus on getting a promotion, right? So these 3 spheres of life, you actually decide what I am going to prioritize for a set amount of time. We live in time frames, so you can decide for the next 6 months, I will prioritize one thing, which may be, let's say, my work. Now, once I decide that, I have to communicate with the other 2 spheres, which means I have to be ready to giving extra time in the work. I have to communicate with my wife that, my goal is in the next 6 months, I want to get a promotion and I want you to support me, get them on board, sell the idea to them, because you can tell them once I get the promotion, we can go on a holiday to Italy, right?
Wow.
Once they are on board with it, then you can focus on one thing. So it is about setting priorities. For 6 months, this can be a priority. Or by the way, your wife may come and say, oh, for the last 10 years, your work has only been your priority, which means now you have to prioritize the relationship for the next 3 months or 6 months or 1 year. Yes. And once you're in a good place, once you have understanding with each other, then you can prioritize your work later. So one priority at a time. Yes, so it doesn't mean that you forget the other spheres. It just means that during the 6 months, if I get an opportunity to do overtime, if I get an opportunity to work extra, I'll take it. And when I prioritize my relationship, maybe I'll take five vacations that year and I'll prioritize my work less.
Wow. I think many of my students in my community, they all say this. Now I know where they have got from this. They all say that, okay, I will earn 10 lakhs per month and then I will take my wife to all the vacations. Yeah. I now know where it is coming from. So now next to another amazing concept that you have created and which is loved by so many people across the country, which is mindful acceptance. And how did this help people to manifest scientifically?
So the reason I came up with this is because a lot of people struggle with bad habits, right? And especially cravings to do those bad habits, cravings to eat sugar, cravings to go back to your Instagram on your phone, right? So I was researching ways and to help people with that. One of the things that is very effective nowadays that a lot of therapists also use is called acceptance and commitment therapy, right? ACT. So when I learned ACT, now it's an elaborate process and you need a coach to help you through it. So I kind of took liberty to shorten it, divide it into 3 quick steps, and I gave it the name Mindful Acceptance. So the idea behind Mindful Acceptance is, it has 3 steps: trigger, behavior, and payoff, right? So let's say I'm craving sugar. I will first recognize, I will stop myself and recognize what is the trigger that always wants me to crave sugar. So maybe after lunch, I always feel like eating something sweet, right? So I recognize the trigger, right? Next is the behavior. What do I actually go and do when this trigger happens? So I go and I grab a sweet, right? Or I grab a cookie, right? And then the payoff. So I have to think, what is the payoff I'm going to get from this now? And what is the payoff I'm going to get from this in the long run? So as I'm having this craving, I realize, okay, this is the trigger. I've had lunch. Now I'm feeling like eating sugar. What is the behavior I'm going to do? I'm going to probably grab a cookie. What is the payoff? I'm going to feel good for 3 minutes while eating it. Then I'm going to feel guilty. Tomorrow I'm going to look into the mirror and feel fat. Yes. And that helps you stop for a moment. Yes. The mindfulness aspect is where you realize that every emotion is valid. Right? You having cravings is okay. When cravings are here, tell cravings, hello old friend, welcome back. Yes. Having guilt is okay. When guilt is back, tell hello old friend. Having anger is okay. What is not okay is every reaction. Every emotion is valid. Every reaction is not valid. Right? So when I'm having cravings, what do I react with? Yes. Do I grab the cookie or do I drink a glass of water? When I'm getting angry, do I start shouting at people or do I take a step back and I, maybe take deep breaths for 5 minutes? So every emotion is valid, every reaction is not valid. Once you understand the separation between it, just recognizing the trigger, behavior and payoffs will help you take control of so many different areas of your life.
Wow, that was an amazing concept, right? In that moment of silence, we can choose wisely on what will actually make our mind, body, and relationship wealthy.
Yes.
Wow. So you work with a lot of people, students, homemakers, professionals, entrepreneurs, and so many other people. What do you think are the common traits that makes these people peak performance in their respective industries?
So I've been obviously fortunate enough to work with people who are really wealthy people with the triple-digit crore net worths, and so the biggest realization that I had is those people don't work from a scarcity mindset. For example, the average middle class person, if you set a goal and you say that, okay, I want to make 1 crore, the next thing you will ask yourself is, how do I get 1 crore? You'll start calculating and doing things. Whereas the people at the top, when they set a goal, I want to make 1 crore, the next thing they ask themselves is, where can I give 1 crore worth of value so that more than 1 crore flows to me automatically? They're thinking about giving. Their goals are, I want to impact 1 lakh people. Yes, they're thinking about giving. So that comes from an abundance mindset. That is one huge difference between these two kinds of people.
So that abundance mindset, that focusing on creating value for others. When you're able to create abundance for others, abundance automatically follows you. Wow.
100%.
This is what so many people miss when they want to manifest something. And this is what every peak performers figure it out. Amazing. So as a student of Tony Robbins, Eckhart Tolle, and Robin Sharma, what is that one habit that you really think everybody should follow, but they don't do it, and because of they suffer so much in their lives?
So I figured this out when I was in college, and I'll tell you in one sentence: sleep wiser and wake up richer. So every single day, I make sure I learn something. Either I'm reading a book, I'm going through a course, I'm doing something to get wiser. So when I go to bed tonight, I will be wiser than I was when I woke up. Right? Similarly, everything I do to earn money, I ensure it does not require my time, and I keep making money even while I'm asleep. That is why my first business was an e-commerce business. I was making sales when I was asleep. Right now, I teach people all, and I'm making sales when I'm asleep. So every time I go to bed, and when I wake up richer than I was when I went to bed. So sleep wiser, wake up richer.
Wow, what a line, right? Sleep wiser and wake up richer. So one of your life's mission, your dream life mission, is to impact 1 billion lives. How do you think of scaling to that number, which seems very impractical right now?
Yes. I think when I was starting out, even the goal of making 1 crore was, very impractical. Yes, at this point, when we've done like 20 times that, I feel like when we call it impractical, it becomes impractical. But when you call it achievable, it becomes achievable, right? So as far as the stages of my growth is concerned, I feel like I'm through the first stage of figuring out exactly what I want to do, getting mastery in those subjects. So like at this point, I have coached over 500 to 600 people in one-to-one sessions, and lakhs and lakhs of people in one-to-many sessions like webinars and stuff like that. I think having acquired the knowledge and the skills to know what can improve somebody's life, my next stage of evolution, which I'm already starting to work on, is creating coaches with the same level of knowledge and skills who can scale this impact for me and with me to impact 1 billion people. I think that's the next level. Yeah.
Wow. So now he's going to create this army of coaches under him, and he's going to impact 1 billion people. Wow, what a vision.
Thank you so much.
So, okay, both of us have great missions. My mission is to make every coach a unicorn coach, and you want to impact 1 billion lives, help them to become peak performers. Where do you think is the intersection of these two missions, and how do you see this building up?
So I think essentially both of us are doing the same thing. My goal is to help 1 billion people live up to their full potential. And since you're working with coaches, you're helping coaches live up to their full potential, right? Ultimately, the mission is the exact same. And definitely the people, even in my community, those who want to become coaches and help me spread the impact, or in their own different ways, in their own different fields, they can very well learn a lot from you. And the methods and tactics that have helped me scale will help them scale their own impact as well.
Yeah, exactly. This happens, right? A lot of people come from your community to my community as well, and they all say how much their life has become more disciplined, more focused, more consistent, and how they were able to grow their business. And I think the same will happen with your community as well. That's an amazing way to collaborate and contribute to each other. Yes. So a lot of people in my coaches, they start out, they have a lot of self-doubts, and I think whether they should become they doubt whether they can become somebody like Ankit, whether I can really impact people like Ankit has done in his life. So when this self-doubt comes, and they accept defeat and they go down. So what do you want to tell to those people who are trying to be like you, but they are not able to grow to that level?
So I think my best piece of advice is a mindset. The mindset that always believe that life is happening for you and not to you or against you. Right? If you look at that, even if you're not getting the results you want, it is just the universe trying to tell you there is something more you need to learn. Right? Learn the lessons from those events and equip yourself with more mastery over the topics you teach, the subject matter expertise, and the expertise of running a business, the expertise of doing the marketing right, of getting the funnels, the sales, getting the clients right? As a one-man army that every coach starts out being, it can take your attention in so many different ways. So the next step is obviously just narrowing down, focusing on the number one goals that you have, and definitely use the law of attraction to attract the right opportunities, the mentors. And by the way, anybody listening to this, you've already attracted the greatest mentor you can have. That's Gopal right here.
So thank you for that detailed advice to all my coaches, and I would really appreciate it. Now on to the last segment of this Unicorn Coach Talk Show, Rapid Fire. Yes. I'm going to ask you questions and you have to shoot your answers.
Sure.
So one favorite book of yours?
The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Favorite productivity tool of yours?
Not as much a tool, but meditation, just self-guided meditation.
Meditation. One person you love to have dinner with?
Eckhart Tolle. So
why?
So I love the wisdom that he brings, and there are so many spiritual teachers that I've listened to. He's one person who I really connect with because I have a very similar origin story experience, like how he got started in spirituality. So I feel like I have a couple of very interesting questions for him, and so that's it.
Yeah. And what is your go-to mantra for some tough days that you face?
I don't have tough days. Adversity builds character, so tough days are the best days. It makes you stronger.
So what would be your advice to your younger self? What would you want to say to the 15-year-old Ankit right now that you have learned all these things?
I think the best piece of advice I'd give my younger self is to, go all in and have fun. Whatever you do, have fun in the process of doing it. I think early on, the first 10 years of my working life, I would take stuff very seriously, and now I've learned to have fun.
Ankit, today it was amazing listening to you, your story and everything. And your frameworks and your dedication to this profession of being a coach is really inspiring. And if people want to follow you and learn more from you, can let us know where they can reach out to you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at ankit.neerav, Neerav.
Yeah. And what are your future plans? What next?
So next for me is just continuing to double down on giving more value to people. And yes, definitely building more coaches who can carry forward and magnify my impact.
So it was amazing to have Ankit today in the Unicorn Coach Talk Show. It's inspiring you to become a life coach, to become a unicorn coach, and we got a lot of inspiration. We are going to do a lot of episodes with so many other unicorn coaches in the coming episodes. So stay tuned, and I'm looking forward to see your feedback on the comments below. Thank you. Bye-bye.